Hi, in this video I will show you how to put together these two layered heart cards, which is a free SVG from Simply Crafty SVGs. So I wanted to try something a little bit new. It's a layered look, almost like a lot of people like the layered mandalas, but I don't have it offset. I originally wanted to do something like a quilt look, so that's why the kind of a boxy look for those that make quilts. But I just ended up going with layered because if I did the quilt, each individual little piece in here would have to be cut out for it to be flat to give it really truly a quilt look. But anyways, that was what I was going for. So sometimes they become freebies. So I'm going to show you how to put together one. They're basically the same. I'm going to put together both, but I'm going to walk you through one because they're just different shapes but the same way to put together. So we have that one. Then this round one. So we'll do this one first. So I included a little tag shape that you can write on yourself. I don't have any pre-printed cut or anything. I just used a pen on my Cricut Maker to write this out with one of their single line fonts. Well, I've purchased a lot of things over the years for Cricut, so I own a couple fonts. I do not have access, but it might be an access. So this is the background to that, so we just need to layer that. I had to stop for a second because my dog was barking in the background at the neighbors. She likes to let me know the neighbors are coming in and out of their house. But anyways, so this is a free file you can get from Simply Crafty SVGs, and when you cut these out, there's heart 1 and heart 2, and I can't remember which one's which, but it's in the file. I have it set up how it's going to be layered. So let's take out this top piece first. This will go like that. This is just the cutout of that, and I thought it'd be fun just to put it on the inside of the card since it's just kind of I don't want to waste it. So that's one thing. Of course, the card. So let's go ahead and put that aside. So let's go ahead and layer these first. So there's 4 different colors, so the white cuts out with the card. But this is the way it looks, so they're all the same size. The reason I'm telling you that is that top panel that have the pattern paper on is slightly larger than this, so you don't see the sides. But I'll show you that in a minute. But you see they kind of line up. So you can start from the bottom. We're going to flip them upside down. Or you can go from the top, as long as you know which way to put them. So, but you always want to put the glue on the one with the openings. So as you watch this, I kind of show in the PDF file that's included with the zip file which order they go in, but here we have this one over the solid one. So this is for the round heart version. So I just lightly placed it, and then I'm just going to get it lined up. And this is the next layer. So I didn't want it too much because I don't like wasting a lot of paper. So I did try to make these smaller, by the way, these pieces, so you wouldn't have to cut as large a piece. But when you get to that top piece, it kind of has to be large because else it kind of caves in. So I'm just kind of lining it up. So it's a really quick card to make, and I'm going to show you what I mean by that. Here's a test card. I don't know if you can see the indentation. I made these smaller, which I like the single color, by the way. I have a little iridescent type of sheen on this. I'm still going to use the card, but I just didn't think it was right to have that kind of drop down. Didn't like it. Make sure you're putting glue on the correct side. I use art glitter glue primarily. I have other glues I like. And I use a textured American Crafts cardstock mostly. Some of the other ones I like Recollection. from Michaels, but not really for thick things, maybe for cards, not things for 3Ds or any 3D. For cards are good. So I'm going to go ahead and carefully place this one to line up those grids before I do this. So you see how thick it's getting? It's kind of like those mandalas, but I like to do, honestly, there's nobody I could really give a whole lot of those mandalas to, so I tend to not to go for them because I do a lot of them. I have them, and I haven't done a lot, but it's the reason I don't make them is, I don't know, for me, the cards, everybody's different, right? So I just like the idea of making a card that I can send pretty quickly. Whoops, not yet. Take this top piece. So what you're going to notice, I'm going to just flip it over. This is slightly bigger. Okay, so that top piece is bigger. So what you want to do is when we put glue on it, we're going to put glue not really close to the edge, so we have a little wiggle room. But we don't want these edges coming out on any side. We want it to be even here. So you see that white part? Like that. So, and I'll just do this before we actually put that on. There's another little border that you can put on, so that's what it looks like. That's completely optional. It'll look good without it too. So we have to space it. It's going to be easier to space and add that after you do this than it will to have that on there. That's just my opinion based on doing a couple of them. So I'm going to add this first. So if you want to make a bunch of them or something, or you want it really fast, you could omit the border. You can see I kind of go wide. I went a little close right there, but I'm just going to start at the bottom. Get it centered in the screen here. I'm just going to flip it over real quick, make sure that nothing's really sticking out. So this way you don't see the bottom layers as much because I made that slightly larger. But I'm very particular about little things like that. Some people might not care, but I do. So you could add glue to the back of this and put it on. I'm going to add glue around the edge because just in case I drop it, I won't ruin the card. So I'm just doing a light glue around the edge. You can barely see it because of the pattern. This is a digital paper that I printed off from a paper pack. I'm just going to go ahead and whenever it comes to these little thin ones, something else fun to do with this card if you have the patience, because I didn't make the border that really thick. You could make this into, if you know how to use your tools and all that fun stuff, you could make this into a shaker card too. I just didn't want to put too much into it. So once that's on, just go ahead and put everything on the card. I tend to use my liquid glue, but I know with cards I have adhesive tape. I just don't use it. When I get knee deep into these videos, I forget. So it's going to be a thicker type of card. It still is A2 size. So it's going to be a tight fit in an envelope, but it'll fit. It's nice and sturdy. Nobody's going to, with all those layers in there, nothing's going to come apart. It's like creating your own heart chipboard. So I put some foam tape on the back, and then just going to go ahead and center this, make sure it's really sticky foam tape, so you want to get it down first. I guess I should have glued this part on first, but that's okay. So this is just something I typed out with Cricut. I'm just going to center it there. And then right here, I'll just take this cutout and just put it inside. You don't have to use it all. You can put it on the back. That would be fun. But why waste perfectly good printed heart paper? So that's it. I'm going to make the next one, and I'll just I'll have you watch it. I just won't be talking through it. Have a little music. So I'm going to go ahead and make this card, but I'm not going to speak through it. It's the same thing, but so you can see it done. I have to assemble it anyway, so I might as well record doing it, and then I'll be back after that. So here are the two cards. So if you'll notice, when I did this card, when I layered it, I used score tape. So the reason I don't like score tape, and that probably wasn't the best application of it, but it was a good discussion point at the end of this video, is because when you're trying to line up something like that, and very specific, you don't have any wiggle room. So once you get it down, you can't get it back up without using special tools. So one thing, if you've never seen it before, undo. It kind of smells. It literally is probably petroleum. So if you're worried about it, you might want to look at the safety precautions. But what's nice with undo, it doesn't work on wet glues when they're dry, but with adhesives, like this, like the glue tapes, you get it right underneath it, and it will not discolor your paper or anything for the most part. I even printed those, and I had to unsticky this top part because it didn't line up, and I had to fix it. So I picked it up and got this. You just get it underneath. If you've never seen this before, it's miracle stuff, and I use it even though it, like I said, look at the safety warnings. It's up to you. So that's the only thing about using score tape, and that's why I ended up going back to glue at the very end. But since this is a bulky card, I thought, well, why not bulk it up more by putting a little bit of twine on it with a little bow to dress it up. I'm probably going to trim it off just a little bit more. But they're free. The Simply Crafty SVGs. If you liked it, go ahead and give us a thumbs up. And or subscribe to our channel. And I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching.